What is good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Get With It, brought to you by WSLAM and the iconic Basketball Bible Slam. I am your co-host, Camille Buxeda, a.k.a. Killer Cam.
And I'm your co-host, Jayani Smith, a.k.a. J Money. And welcome to the podcast for Everything Women's Hoops.
Hey, we're back. We're back for a third app. You know, we're here, we're riding, we're living, we're thriving. How we doing, J Money?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Opening weekend was great. Weather's nice outside, so we outside. I'm feeling great.
It's feeling like summer. It's feeling like summer again. I know, and more. I mean, how can you not start summer off with you know, a little bit of drama? We just saw this morning what happened to Young Thug and Gunna with that RICO that just got put out on them. It's some crazy mess that we've been seeing down there. I mean, I don't even want to get into all those details and everything that's going on, but all I gotta say is the internet stays undefeated when it comes to things like this.
Is always going to make everything a joke, and I'm living for it every time.
I'm dead. I mean, I think I saw one that was like, you know, I'm praying for Thug, but I fell to my knees for Gunna and JCPenney's.
Bro, it was the JCPenney's for me, because what are you doing in JCPenney's?
That was too on it.
I really wonder, like, who comes up with this shit? Like, I be low-key wishing that I did so I can go viral, but I'm like, that shit has me dead. No, it was also the one that was like, y'all got the baby out here killing. Y'all called the baby out here killing in IMAX 3D, and y'all gonna catch Jeffrey? Like,
Jeffrey.
It was them using his government name for me. Like, all right.
The government name. I mean, it's just, the internet is wild for that one. They stay.
I'm not gonna say it hurt. It hurts my heart because, and I'm not too sure of all the details and everything, so I can't really speak on it. But, prayers to everyone that's, affected by this. But my heart is also hurting because I just know, one, you can't beat a RICO charge, but we might not ever get another Thug or Gunna album again. And like, I just don't know how to feel. Like, I really don't.
It hurts.
Like, it really does hurt.
And I'm praying, praying for the best for everyone involved. It's not how you want to see this going. But the internet, man, it just doesn't stop. It just never stops. And the same can be said for a lot of the new music we heard drop this week. I mean, Jack Harlow, Bad Bunny, Kendrick, Future. Like, what you listened to this weekend when everything dropped?
So I haven't listened to, I'm not a huge album person. I mostly just listen to like a couple of songs.
You gotta change that, girl.
I know. Summer Walker is the only person that like I listen to album. Well, that first album I listened to like through and through. But Jack Harlow, first of all, he got the girls with that TikTok song first, the throwback from the Glamorous from Fergie. Like, that took me back to my childhood. So
I know
that's definitely a hit. And then also his feature, the song he dropped with the feature with Drake. I don't know. I feel like he's taking some notes from him. It was also lit to see them at the Kentucky Derby. Like, I don't know when that's turned into a whole like cultural moment, but I'm like, I'm here for it. Maybe I need to get my fit and my hat together for next year. If I miss my invite in the mail, Jack and Drake, let me know. I'll go look down the street or something. I didn't know
I'll send the Addy, like whatever you need. Just like let me know. If you don't got the address, like I will send it to you. But like, don't.
I missed the memo for that.
We just missed our invites. That's all we're saying. We're ready for next year though. Like, I'm gonna pick out my hat like
now.
Yesterday. Now. So next time, that comes up. I mean, because that's some of the funniest things I've seen. Like the videos of Drake like interrupting Jack Harlow's
Drewski in the cowboy boots.
Drewski in the
shorts.
Boots. Yo, I mean, the Kentucky Derby was lit this year. It was
for real.
Popping.
We missed out on that.
It was definitely pop. I mean, for me, in terms of this past weekend, listen, right now I'm in my beautiful island, the motherland in Puerto Rico here. And it's insane. I've never been here, obviously, for an album release of Bad Bunny's. He had a whole marketing plan where with Medalla, which is like the biggest beer brewing company here on the island, I think it was like over 60 or 70 bars throughout the entire island. They did a happy hour of 50-cent medallas, like just the beers, all on Friday, the day his album dropped. Like it just across the island, you drive anywhere on the streets now and you see his little heart from the album everywhere.
Marketing genius.
Marketing genius, first of all. And then like, let's just talk that. I mean, I that's all I've been listening to for the last 4 or 5 days. I think I'm on stream number 85 of El Apagón, which is really cool because it's a song, one, that's like almost rooted in house a little bit. Like this man did everything on this album. He put a merengue, he put house, he put everything. But in that song specifically, like he talks a lot about how Puerto Rico's just, especially post-pandemic, become really infiltrated by Americans that are raising real estate prices and coming here for tax breaks. And I think at the very end of the song, I actually don't know who it is singing, incredible voice, the woman, whoever it is, but she was just like, this is my island, my what is it? My tierra. I don't even know how to say it. Like my earth, tierra, whatever, my grounds. Like you should leave, you know? And I thought it was just so cool. Like a lot of people, a lot of the news I saw, like a lot of people were saying like, oh, well, like a lot of people don't get, you know, what he's talking about because like obviously Puerto Rico he's shining so much light on it. I think that's so cool. Like so many people just don't understand what it means to be Puerto Rican and to live here. And El Apagón, even like the title is literally what they say when the electricity shuts off on the entire island because there's only one power company here running everything. And a lot of that, you know, a lot of the issues it's faced here is post Maria 5-6 years ago, which is, I mean, insane to think about. So I thought it was, my man's gonna get mad when I say this, but I think it's his best album yet. It's up for debate because I think he had a lot, you know, going on, but I think it showed his versatility. He really did his thing. And listen, my man, Benito, love you, man.
I was going to say, I just got chills you talking about that song because when artists are able to like truly tell a story or shed light onto like situations that, or, you know, lifestyles or problems that they may be facing through like art and music, like, I don't know, like it touches you in a whole different way. Even if you don't like know what's going on or fully understand the scope of things, like just the storytelling that goes into, you know, artists and their music. Like I love it.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Kendrick did on was it Friday? I don't remember the day he dropped it, but this past weekend, like his new song
in the music video.
Yeah, he channeled I think it was OJ, Kendrick, Nipsey, Kobe, and who else? I think Will Smith. And he wrote it as it from their perspective, like how interesting. And he really wanted to shine a light on culture, right? On its culture and how each of those different figures you know, brought their own to the culture, right? I don't know. I thought it was such a creative way and we haven't seen a lot of that in rap these days.
Recently, yeah. And even and you talk about like the creativity and like marketing and stuff, like his whole rollout, he was like posting sneak peeks of stuff like had blank CDs, like taking us back to like the mixtape days. He had like the Bible in hand and just like truly it's amazing to see where they get their inspiration from and like tapping into like old, you know, things. And that's just really nostalgic, you know, as a consumer and a listener. And how they kind of tie all of that into like the culture and stuff like that. Like it is truly like inspiring.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it all. And I mean, we were just talking Drake and Jack Harlow. We also got to talk what we just saw this past week with Drake hooping with our girl, our Canadian fam. I mean, she has been with us since 2019. Cheyenne Day Wilson. She's a hooper. Let me just tell you right now. Hooper. She pulled up to Dykeman 2-3 years ago and put on a clinic, put on a show. It was a good time. Hooper. So, you know, she had to post up with her man Drake. Listen, you from the 6, you gotta.
That's iconic. That's iconic. Who else can say that they ran ones with Drake? Like,
right?
That's super iconic.
She got him on a nice little step back, but yo, let me just say, Drake's got some moves. Like, he's been.
I didn't know he could hoop like that. I didn't think he could hoop like that. We might need him to play in like a celebrity all-star game or something with the W. We might need to set that up. Because, you know, we might be trying to get like a W team in Toronto or something. Like Drake, if you're listening, you know, you can be an investor. Then maybe we can have you on all. Like, it's a lot of things we can get moving now.
Yes,
like, exactly. This is perfect time.
Exactly. I mean, Commissioner, reported by Front Office Sports and Seattle Times, just said, you know, they're looking to expand with 2 more teams pretty soon. There's not a timeline on that. Let's not get excited. You know, we got to wait on the timeline.
Just yet, but.
Yeah, but like, you know, Toronto could be one of those 2. Where else do you think, or would you want to see teams added?
I'm not going to lie. I want to see a team back in Houston. Like, if they can bring the Houston Comets back, like. that would do a lot, I think, for the league, just in terms of the
Yeah.
history. I mean, we just celebrated 25 years. They really created the league. I mean, so many of the women that were on that
Yeah.
team were trailblazers, and I think to really just pay homage to them and what they did for the game of basketball. Like, I
Yeah.
would love to see a team back there. And then on top of that, like, Houston's just lit. Like, on its
Mike
own.
Mike Evans, actually from the Tampa Bay Bucks, I mean, just tweeted today. He's like, bring one to Houston. I'm interested in being an owner. He's from Houston. That's
Let's
one
put
of
it
the biggest
together.
NFL games. Listen, you got people interested. You've got,
So everyone's saying that they're not watching, no one's paying, there's making no money. Like, that's a lie. Cut the bullshit.
That's a lie. Cut the bullshit, right? We know there's
that's cap.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know what other city I think I would be interested in seeing? So obviously, definitely Houston. I would be interested in a Bay Area maybe, or a Portland. I think those are two markets that we've seen really kind of interested in women's sports, from soccer, from varying other sports. And then I would also say maybe something like a Charlotte, bring back the Sting. Shout out Dawn Staley.
I would love to see those historic teams like in franchises come back. That's how you really like tie it all together and like put on for the culture. Like, back then the league, like, really, there were so many celebrities that were invested in like coming to games and wearing jerseys and like, even who was it from Destiny's Child? Was it Michelle? I think it was Michelle. That was like part owner of Chicago Sky. Like, let's bring that back. Like, I love that. And so I think that, like you said, like Charlotte or Houston, like, just bringing back some of those like historic teams in those markets would be great. I'd also like to think about like maybe some markets that are untapped, like that don't even have maybe like an NBA franchise already there or something to like maybe like
really rally the city, right? I
mean,
Seattle,
like everyone behind them.
Seattle's really rallied around the storm for sure. I mean, they pack their arena out. I mean, any playoff game you see, it's fully sold out. Yeah, I mean, I also really would love to see Toronto. I think Toronto would be really cool.
That would be a really good market.
Opens up a whole nother country. I think, from what I've seen, they're a really supportive fan base of any and all of their teams. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options there. I'm excited to see what.
Or we could bring in, something from like the college side, like tapping into one of those cities, like maybe bringing something to Tennessee or something like that, where like you already have the fan. Yeah, Nashville, where all of the fans are rallied behind those college towns and teams.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
Bringing in something new, some new flavors. So I don't know. I'm excited though. I'm glad that this is in the talks and in the works, and they're considering it. So.
I know. And like, I think one of the cool things we saw, beyond the expansion announcement was Sports Illustrated Swimsuit edition just dropped with Dee Richards, Sue Bird, Stewie, NECA, and Taya. I mean, super fire, right? But I gotta shout out Dee and NECA, and they ate. Let me just say that right now. I didn't
left no crumbs.
I know I haven't seen everything, but like just from what I've seen, they ate. I was like, but those, and I think even Courtney Williams said it, she was just like, it's really cool to see women represented, and especially women's basketball players represented in different ways, because like we are so much more than, X, Y, and Z. I think women's basketball gets such a rep for being super masculine or whatever, that it has to be super masculine. You don't have to be masculine. You don't have to be feminine. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can be represented in different ways. Like, I think that was just a really cool way to do that.
Courtney even talked about like, and that's another thing that I love about the league too, is like you would expect that, the players and the supporters to be like satisfied or like content. Like, oh, they're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Like, take that, shut up. And like, that's, just be happy you got that. Like, they're always pushing for more and like, just hungry. It speaks to like their work ethic and, just their drive. But Courtney even talked about like, okay, cool. I love seeing them on the cover. Like, next time, let's see. It would be nice to see some girls in like some swim trunks and sports bras. Like, let's bring the versatility and just showing like, like you said, like the difference in how the women express themselves and how they dress and everything. And so I think that was super, super cool for her to kind of like comment on. It's like being able to celebrate those strides that we make and, the accomplishments, but also like continuing to want more and continuing to grow and expand.
Definitely. I think, listen, It's only up from here. I'm really excited to see what keeps happening, off the court. But we had some on the court action finally. 8 months in the making.
The
Has it been
W
8
is
months?
back.
The W is back. The real is back. We're back. We're back to talking about basketball. I feel like we've been waiting for this moment for a minute. And, we saw a lot. We got some good little insight about this season this past weekend, right?
This past weekend was very interesting and entertaining. There was a lot of entertainment, which I love. I live for the mess. But yeah, there were, I'm in DC, and so being able to go out to the season opener, home opener with the Mystics. Great to see Elena back. EDD looked like she has not missed a beat. I know that she's coming off of, injury and missing 2 seasons, but she's been out there hooping. And like, I'm not gonna say I was surprised. It was good to see her, playing so well, but just like thinking about me as a former athlete and taking that much time off and how much time it's taken her to, how much work she's had to have put into, come back, and her endurance and be able to maintain like running up and down the court. So that was great to see. And then of course, Tosh, bro,
I'm a shooter, Tosh. Let's get that straight. For the
Natasha,
record, Tosh,
I'm a shooter cloud.
Natasha,
Natasha, I'm a shooter cloud.
That's her new name.
Period. I mean, even just like when she put Lexi in the mix, like first game of the season, like welcome to the W. Like, I just love it. Like, woo, no, literally. Is it getting hot in here or is it just me? But, that's the exciting part of the game. And so I'm excited to see, what they bring this season.
Yeah, and I'm shout out Lexi Hall. She took it like a champ. She went to social. She goes, I guess welcome to the league or something like that.
That's how you get welcome. Yes.
That's how you get welcome. You own it. You move on. It's all good. But yeah, she got her welcome to the league moment real quick. But I respect for owning it. It is what it is. It happens, when you're new into a professional league. But speaking of rookies, these rookies are not scared.
At all.
Like that shit was, there were some games where I was like, I mean, Nolissa Smith had a double-double on her first night in the WNBA. I mean, we knew she was a double-double machine, so that wasn't even a question, but she came to work her first night. I mean, Henny had 19 over the LA Sparks in her second game.
I saw a bunch of people talking like we weren't sleeping on her, but it's a bunch of teams that are going to be upset this season that she dropped to the second round.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and that they waited that long. I mean, listen, she was matched up against a 6'8" Liz Cambage, and she was not scared.
At all. She didn't back
when
down.
The mismatch came through, she didn't back down, right? I mean, listen, Liz is one of the best players in this league.
Shakira Austin, when she was matched up with Sil, like she was like, how I'm gonna do this? I'm gonna take it though.
And she did though. I mean, Shakira came out and did her thing. She got, she helped the Mystics get that, that W. So, I mean, Ryan Howard was 16 points in her debut night. Listen, these rooks are not scared. So
they're not playing. It's a new
normally
breed.
It's and normally it's the rooks better be on notice for the league. I'm telling the league to be on notice for these rooks,
for the rookies, right?
They're gonna come in and make you work. They're hungry. They're young. They've got athleticism like never before. I mean, again, this game continues to evolve. So listen, I'm excited to see this rookie class show out because it's been pretty nice already. And I think one of my favorite things of this past weekend, I will say, talking about the Sparks, LA Hoops might be legit. Listen, I came in as a skeptic. Let me just say that right now. I came in as a skeptic. I felt like you had, you have a lot of variability, a lot of new people, a lot of new faces on this roster for Derek Fisher to find a way to hone in and set an offense. They look pretty good. My girl Jordan Canada did her thing, which I am just so proud of her. I think I've said it before. She's one of my favorite players in this league. She dropped 21 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, shot 55% in that opening game. She did her thing. She came in ready to hoop. She came in ready to take over because she's been, on that bench, starting on the bench for a minute. And, she came in ready. And I respect that.
Yeah. And talking about, the Sparks, Lexi and Kennedy. I mean, we talked about them. What was that? 2 episodes ago? Last episode? Last episode, just excited to see how they came in. They're adding to their depth. So I don't know, like LA is a scary sight.
Yeah. I mean, led by NECA. NECA's, I mean, the OGs of the OGs. You've got Christy Tolliver still coming in, who's like a vet. I mean, this team's gonna be
Magic Johnson
nice.
said it best. I don't even know. I mean, he's tweeted it more than once at this point. He's like, make sure y'all coming out to see LA.
Listen,
I love it. I love it.
You near Staples, you better be at those games because
don't miss out.
I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun year in LA. And hey, you know, in the other city across the coast, in our city, New York's doing pretty nice too.
They're scrappy.
They were scrappy, man. They came in, they got the W against Connecticut on opening night. I know they are, you know, without some of their star power still, but man, they came in. Sabrina had her 25. Michaela was talking. I love that. She was clapping that deep. I was like, I love this energy.
The spice.
And I think most of all, I mean, they just looked way more settled under Sandy. The offense, I felt, knew what their direction and the vision was, which I think they just have lacked in the last year or two. So really, really excited for that. But I mean, hey, we got to see Asia Durr back on the floor too.
Let's talk about it. AD is back. She's healthy. Like her story is truly inspiring. So really just to see her back on the court was just amazing. And to see everyone celebrating it as well.
And I think for those who don't know, Asia got COVID pretty early in 2020 and actually had some pretty severe lasting, or post issues with due to the COVID virus itself. And so it took her almost 2 years. I think she had fluid buildup around her heart. Like there was a couple things that, you know, just made it really difficult for her to be able to get back on the floor safely and healthily. I know they're still going to be guarding her minutes and holding those back and making sure they're doing it the right way. But just so happy for her, man. Like that is, I think they are one of the best people that I've ever met. I think, you know, they have a smile on their face at every game, regardless of their situation. And I just got to respect that. I'm really happy to see them back on the floor.
And talk about stories. I mean, Diamond DeShields, her comeback, it's insane to me that, you know, this story, and of course she was protecting herself, but just a story that went untold that we had not a single clue about. And I mean, Diamond's a hooper, and I know that she's been, you know, battling with her off the court, you know, health issues that we didn't even know about. And, you know, just coming back now, she's over at Phoenix and excited for her over there. But, you know, that story was truly inspiring just to know now, like everything that, you just truly never know what someone's dealing with, like behind closed doors. And like, shout out, props to her for being able to protect herself. And, you know, when you're ready to be able to tell that story, just being able to speak about it and share it with the world. So
yeah, respect. Diamond, you know, I think is one of the greatest. I mean, she's an incredible player, but an even better person. And I again, like you mentioned, I respect her that so much. In this day and age, it is not easy to keep things private. And, you know, that being something so personal to her, she, you know, was able to do that. And I'm very glad she was able to, because, you know, we all have our right to our privacy, our right to tell our stories when when we are ready. And, you know, her needing to do what she needed to do. I'm extremely happy for her. I know she just got back pretty recent in the last few days from her overseas commitments, and she's going to start training back up to hit the floor with the Mercury. But before we get into our special guest of today, I also got to talk the classic that was Sunday night between the Storm and Aces. Incredible game. I think Jackie Young's going to be a favorite for most improved player of the year. And I'm claiming it now. Let's put it on I don't have a sticky, but right here. Jewel Lloyd's going to be a 2022 MVP candidate. I firmly believe that. I don't know. She just keeps elevating her game. The way she plays on the floor. I think she will be the reason why the Storm, you know, if they are able to get back for, you know, down into the playoffs, like she will be the reason. Obviously you have Stewie. Stewie's going to be Stewie, but I think Jewel is, to me, you know, that player that is just so much upside. I think she's got so much going for her. I'm really excited.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super excited. Well, you talked about it a little bit, but today we have a special guest with us here today. Erica Wheeler from the Atlanta Dream, coming to chop it up with us. So super excited to have her.
Yeah, Erica. I mean, listen, Atlanta got their dub. They've been doing their thing. So I'm excited to see what's going on with Atlanta and talk to her a little bit about it. So let's get into it. Erica Wheeler, what's going on, fam? How you doing?
What's up, Kim? How you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, man. It's always love when it comes to U-Slam, W-Slam. I'm sorry, when it comes to W-Slam. Kim,
Nah.
you've been there since day one, so it's always love when I see you.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. How you been though? How's everything been? Been a couple weeks now, starting into season, everything.
Yeah, everything is great, man. I'm just happy to be able to come to my house every day. It's super therapeutic after a long practice because it's definitely different. So the new coaching staff, so we're just figuring out a lot of things. So to come back home and just decompress has just been great.
When did you get back to Atlanta, or did you go to Miami first? Or
No, I was over in Poland. I got back. I think my flight got back April 17th. And
okay,
she gave me some days off. I was ready. She was just like, "Nah, you don't worry about it. Take some days." And when I got back, my teammate was like, "Yeah, all we did was run." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I wasn't coming for that. I was definitely not coming for that."
you've been ready. You've been playing. It's not like you
Yeah.
haven't been playing, so you in shape.
Playing 35 minutes over in Poland.
Yo, you don't need no conditioning.
I'm good.
Nah, exactly. Well, before we even get into this season, I think you have one of the most special and incredible journeys in this game that I know of. I think you wear it on your sleeve, and I love just getting listeners to know more about it. So, I want to start from the very beginning. Talk to me about growing up in Liberty City, repping the 305. You're big on the Miami family, so talk to me about all that.
Man, I'm Miami. When you see me, you just know that I'm Miami. We wear Cuban links, and that's just our style. We gritty. So just growing up in Miami honestly made me who I am. Just single parent home, mom by herself, just taking care of three kids. It was a struggle, but for me, the crazy part about my childhood growing up is like I felt no struggle. Like what I was me going outside and playing sports, I was having a ball, not knowing, that my mom is struggling to pay bills and my sister's working at 15 years old. And I'm like, I'm just going outside to play basketball and I'm doing different activities. So I had a ball, but like as I'm growing up and they telling me stories, I'm like, yo, for real? Like I didn't know all these things until I start asking questions and my sister started telling me like, look, yo, we was homeless at one point. I'm thinking when we going to my auntie house for 2 weeks, that's because mom is working, not knowing mom done lost the business. We about to lose the house. So for me, I never really felt it. I was just having a ball. So just being able to hear stories back when I was younger, it's all coming together. Cause I'm like, dang, I remember being at my auntie Shelley house for 2 weeks. And then like, dang, I remember being at my uncle Sam's house for a couple of days but not knowing that my mom was just keeping us away from what she was going through.
How does that shaped you now? I feel like you look back on it. I feel like, listen, I think we all are like, oh, mom is so annoying or mom does this when we're kids, right? Yeah. And then you get older and you're like, man, she did everything for me. Like listen, I could cry. I appreciate her so much.
Man, listen, I tell everybody, if my mom was alive, I probably wouldn't have a house. I probably wouldn't have the car that I have. I'll probably be driving a little Toyota, my first car, my Toyota 1998. I would really give her everything that anything that she want, I would literally give it to her. Like I would literally work just so she can have nice things because basically that's what she did for us. She worked and paid bills and make sure we had food, and whenever we can get nice things, she got it. So for me, I feel like I want to do that in return. So I tell people now, boy, you lucky you got your parents, because if my mom was alive, well, this lady have everything. So for me, I just appreciate everything that she's done. So that's why like when I go at anything like this interview, when I'm on a court, when I'm doing anything that I can impact, I always just try to do it to the best of my ability, because let the world know that someone who struggled most of our lives raised a great daughter. So for me, that's why that's how I try to give back to my mom in a way to just kind of represent her. Like I'm up here at all times.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, and that shows. I mean, just your energy, the way that you play, your work ethic, like it's not just something you speak, it's something you live in, and we can see that each and every day. So that's amazing to hear about. So I mean, let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about your journey, through basketball. You talked about, being outside and playing the game, but your childhood growing up playing, and then, your choice to go and play, with Coach Stringer up at Rutgers.
Well, honestly, Vivian sold that deal. and she just first off, my top 5 at the time was Rutgers University, UConn, LSU. I'm a little old now. LSU, Illinois, because I think Coach Law was there at the time in South Carolina. And I took a visit to LSU. That's when my man, what's his name? Van? No,
which one?
It's an older dude. I forget his name. What was the older dude that coach? He don't even know. But older dude, I forget his name, but I ended up going to the visit at LSU, and it was a dope experience. First off, they took me to the football game, and you know LSU football games is crazy.
Insane, unmatchable.
I'm like, yo, this what college is like. So for me, that was a whole nother world. But then I took Rutgers, Vivian, and at the time it was Tasha Pointer, that was assistant coach. They came down to Miami. At the time, we lived in an apartment, 2 bedrooms. It's 4 of us in there. So my sister them can cook. So my sister them was like, yeah, we're gonna make Vivian some collard greens. So my sister made collard greens, macaroni and cheese, yellow rice, and I think some barbecue chicken. So the first thing Vivian said when she tasted the collard green, well, who made these greens? Miss Melissa, you made these? And my mom was like, no, my daughter did. So like the conversation was super like family oriented because we just started talking about food. It wasn't even about basketball. Like the visit was not about basketball. Probably the last 5 minutes of the visit was about basketball. And I think the one thing that stuck out to my mom was I never left home. So she felt more comfortable with me going to Rutgers because how Vivian approached our family. So this is a mother away from home. So I know my daughter's she's going to be taken care of away from me. So I think that was Vivian said nothing about, oh, she's going to be the best basketball player to come through Rutgers. She said none of that. She told my mom, look, she's going to graduate college in 4 years. She's going to know how to talk. She's going to know how to represent herself. She's going to know etiquette because we took etiquette class at Rutgers. So my mom was like, okay. And where I'm from, we from the hood. We don't have real etiquette. We don't know really much. I'm the first to graduate college. So for me, it was really more so like whatever information I learned from Rutgers, I was bringing it home to teach my family because I was the first to graduate. So once that happened, when she left, my mom was as soon as the door closed, she was like, yeah, you're going to Rutgers. And she was like, look, I don't have a say in your decision, but if I had a say,
that's where you're going.
Rutgers. Yeah, because I feel more comfortable. You being my baby girl, because I'm the youngest of 3, I felt like that would be the perfect fit. Then moving forward, I took a visit, and of course, I know April Sykes. I know Chelsea Lee, who I play AAU with. So it was already familiar for me. So Vivian does this thing where she invites everybody to her house. The players go, and they have a cake in front of them. You cut out the cake into a shape of how you feel about the visit. So I'm emotional. When it comes to family, I get emotional. I love my family. And I love like being around people who have that family aura. So it just felt like family. So the cake is in front of me. I cut the cake into a house, and she was just like, why you cut it into a house? I was like, because I feel like this is my family. I don't even know you guys, but I feel like it's my family.
Wow.
So that's how that deal was. So I committed right after that. I was done. Nobody else had a chance to get me after that.
Yeah, that's fine. Wow, that's incredible. I mean, what a cool method for her to just, I mean, listen, that's what I love about Coach Stringer, which shout out to the queen, Vivian C. Stringer. She just recently retired. She has always found a way, while basketball is obviously something so important to you, everyone she lets play for her, it is not life. She takes life and approaches that and tackles that first for the players. Because I mean, I remember I was talking about it with Dawn Staley, actually, like, you graduate these 4 years and it's not like, the ball's going to stop bouncing at some point.
Right.
Right. So like, what are you going to do with your life and how are you going to approach it post that? Right. Because like, that's what Coach Stringer, I feel like I would say pioneered almost in approaching from a coaching perspective. Cause like back then when she was doing it, like, that's not what you saw everybody.
Yeah,
like,
nobody else was doing it.
It's not what you see anymore. It wasn't at the, it's not consistent. So I thought it was just so special how she's, approached everything. But I want to know from you, what did you learn the most from Coach Stringer playing for her? And what is something that you carry to this day?
Honestly, just being relentless. Like, she never gave us nothing. Like, she didn't care how good you were. I was the number 1 player leaving out of Florida when she was recruiting me. And she didn't care. Like, I don't care how good you are. You're going to work for everything. So For me, that's what I always carry. I don't even like nobody doing favors for me. My birthday just passed, and I was just like, good. I don't want no gifts. I'm good.
Taurus gang, Taurus gang,
And
Taurus.
I'm
I got
but that's just how I've been raised. My mom is like, don't ever
Mm.
let nobody give you nothing. If somebody give you something, you make sure you work for it. And that's what, Vivian instilled to me. I'm not going to give you nothing. You're going to work for everything that you get. You're going to work for every minute that you get. You're going to work for your degree. You have to go to class in order for you to get your degree. So for me, what I always carry is that I want to work for mine. I don't want nobody to just give me money and I just sit back and collect the check. I'm not lazy, no way, shape, or form. Like I always want to work. I always want to do my part. So nobody can ever say, oh, I gave you this. No, you didn't. I worked my ass off for this. So that's what I always carry with me, because listen, you're not getting on that court if you're not working.
Period.
Not at Rutgers. At least when I was there, yeah, you wouldn't get on the court if you wasn't working.
Because stringer's not easy. Hey, anything but. I know she ran the full court press for most of her defense. I read a little story too that at one point she was ready to scrap it, and you said, no, that's not how we're doing this.
Yeah. So my freshman year, she was trying to take the test away. And I'm like, nah, don't take it away, because I'm here. Like I've heard so many stories on down to Cappy, to Tammy Sutton Brown. All of these people that came before me was like, yo, this test is what challenged you. Like this basically gets you ready for the season, like mentally, because playing for Vivian is like, it's mental. Once you get past the mental part, because she's going to challenge you every day, you're going to be fine. So I'm like, don't take it away from me. Like I want to work for mine. Had I knew that I was getting myself into, I probably would have shut up. But honestly, like I told her, I said, don't cheat me in that way. Like this is what it is. This is how I get on the court. Give it to me. Like don't cheat me. And it was some hell, but I got through it. You know what I mean? It helped me through when I'm having a tough day or a tough week, or I'm struggling with something. It helped me get through it, because I didn't think I was gonna pass the test, but I did, because I kept at it. So no, I don't run from the grind at all.
Yeah.
You don't run from it. So, you go undrafted in 2013. Yeah. You go down to Camille's motherland in Puerto Rico. you said it best. You don't run from it. That's not a common move. So what made you decide to go and play down there?
Honestly, I was in New Jersey at the time, because I graduated. Once I graduated, I stayed in New Jersey for a little bit. I was working at True Religion in a drug abuse facility, which completely humbled me, because it was some things I saw that I'm like, what? So I was working there at the time, and one of my friends that I played against in high school, she's from Puerto Rico, DeShields, and she called me, was like, look, E, we need a point guard, but the pay is not much. It's only $200. And at the time, I'm working at True Religion every other day, and I'm probably making like $300 every week. But at the drug abuse place, I'm making almost $2,500 every 2 weeks, because it's salary based. So for me, I'm like, okay, do I walk away from almost $3,000 to make only $1,000? But this is not my calling. Like this is just work. Basketball is my calling. So I'm just like, man, me walking away from this is basically betting on myself. So I just decided, I'm like, all right, I end up quitting both jobs. And let me tell you, True Religion, I fold the best jeans. My little section was better than everybody. I was competitive as hell in there. I was probably the top sales of the month a couple of times. I was not playing like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. We ain't gonna do it. So I ended up walking away from the drug abuse place, because for me, I knew I can always go back to that.
Yeah.
I don't think that was for me to just work there, because you got kids from 9 to 18 years old that's snorting crack, getting but it's from birth. These kids are just from birth. So it humbled me, because I'm not that old at the time. I would think I was like 21, 22. And I'm able to tell them like, look, man, you can change your life and just, find a different path. Just because of what happened to you during birth doesn't have to be your life. But I'm like, I can't tell these kids that they can change their life when I'm not even following my dreams. So I end up, just making a decision, just like, all right, let me bet on myself. Like, I know what work is. Let me see what it's going to be like. So my first year over there, won a championship. I was averaging like 30. I was kicking the ass. And the next year, so I was making 200 a week, and then it bumped up to 300. So I'm like, okay, we moving somewhere. So that little 1,000 turned to a little 15, 16 sometimes. And then it just went from there, man. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely my calling, man. Like I think my friend calling me to give me the opportunity to say, hey, whether I want to, work at True Religion or work at this drug abuse place or get back to my first love, because I was out of it. Once I lost my mom in 2000, I don't want to say the 12, I was out of it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I need to get back to it. So when I got that call, it just was the journey and I was ready for it. I'm like, man, whatever come my way, I'm gonna be ready for it. I done got through the hardest part was, burying my mom and then still be able to live. So I was like, whatever comes at me, I'm gonna knock it out.
I mean, and you took it and you ran with it. I mean, you came to Puerto Rico, you ruled the island. I'll give it to you. I mean, like, listen. I also know you stopped at the little bars on the side of the road, the chinchoreros for my Boricua fam. You know,
mofongo is something serious.
You got a little bit of mofongo. Listen. We got the best food. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But listen, you took that what most would take as a career-ending moment, and you really ran with it. And you said, nah, this is not how I'm about to go out. And you really made a name for yourself here in Puerto Rico, and then you continue to go do the same thing overseas. And then that earned you, a spot in, of all places, Atlanta. So, what was those 2 to 3 years in between, like really just hustling, trying to make your name known, because you're playing overseas and it's hard sometimes to be on the radar of W scouts when you're not in the States.
So the thing about it was I played in Puerto Rico 2 years, then I switched agents. When I played in Puerto Rico, then I played in Turkey in second division, but the season was maybe for like 2 months. I was on there for like 2 months. And then I switched agents, and which I'm with now, Fabio Jardine, he was Brazilian. So I went and got a job. He ended up getting me a job in Recife. And at the time, Erica De Souza, T.Y. Young, Tiffany Hayes, all of them was playing in Brazil at the time because Brazil had a crazy budget. Even Matias was there at the time. So we ended up playing against Erica De Souza. And when I tell you, I kicked the ass. I think I had 40 that game. So
damn.
Erica De Souza was just like, I didn't know that she had the same agent as me. So after the game, she was just like, no, you, in her accent, you really good. And she was like, you ever thought about the WNBA? And I'm like, nah, I'm not worried about the WNBA. So not knowing we got the same agent. So Erica De Souza went to my agent and told my agent, was like, let's talk to Michael Cooper, who was Atlanta head coach at the time, and see if we can get at least in a training camp, because this girl.
Wow.
So fast forward, playing that whole season. Now we didn't, my team wasn't that good, but I still bust. I made sure every WNBA player I played again, I was gonna bust their ass. That's what I did. So moving forward, I got the training camp with Atlanta, and that's when Shoni Shimmer was there, Matias Javon, even Angel McCarthy was there, Delisha Milton. Like, I had all these people around me, and I'm like, yo, I gotta go in here and kill it. But it's a funny story that nobody really know. My first day there, that's when the league was signed with Adidas. And I had on some Adidas shoes. And when I tell you, them Adidas was hurting my damn feet so bad, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna jack it up. But not knowing I didn't put my insole, because I had plantar fasciitis. It wasn't the shoes. I'm just so nervous.
You didn't forgot
insoles into the shoes.
Oh man,
it was not the shoes. It was more so my feet is so used to my insoles. So I'm like, man, I gotta get some other shoes. So I ended up getting the shoes that I had. And I'm like, wow, E, you that damn nervous you didn't get those shoes? Because I almost ucked it up for myself. I was gonna be going that next day because I was terrible. I couldn't move. My feet had kind of locked up a little bit because my feet is flat. So Angel ended up coming to me after practice, like, yo, you gotta bring it. We gotta see what we saw on film. And Erica was just like, E, come on, you in Brazil, you kick our ass.
She's like, don't make me look bad now.
Right.
So I end up switching my insoles into the Adidas. Let me tell y'all, them next couple of days, Shoni Shimmer couldn't get past half court. I was in her ass. She couldn't me. Listen, I went in, and then after the practice, Angel McCarthy was just like, yeah, E, like, if he asks me, I'm gonna talk up for you. So I think we had like 2 more days in that training camp, and Angel was just like, man, E, I need you to bring it these next 2 days. It's really going to determine a lot, because it was 4 of us in there that needed, only one of us can make it. It was 4 of us there, and only one of us can make it. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to bust their ass to get this spot. Like if I don't get this spot, it's only because they just didn't need me, not because somebody outworked me. And sure enough, I got it.
Hey, that's how it happens sometimes, and we love to see it, and we are so glad you were able to get there. But Jay was actually talking about, so she was telling me something I hadn't read. Jay, what you read about?
Yeah, so I was reading about these notes that you keep in your phone of your goals.
Yeah.
In 2014, I guess you started the note. You wrote about how you wanted to make it to the league. You had, becoming an All-Star, becoming a WNBA starter. You had winning the championship in Israel, playing in the top European league, winning the Euro Cup and the Elite Tournament Euro League. The list goes on. This list that you've been writing of goals, and kind of just walk us through, how that started, and then kind of like what it's felt like to, just cross off those different goals throughout the years.
So I watched TD Jakes a lot, and at the time I probably done seen the video, and the word was basically, if you dream it, you got to feel it, you got to see it, you got to see yourself in it, look at them, write the goals down. Cause I always write my goals down, but it's never in my phone, always on a piece of paper, but it's home. So I'm like, man, if I put it in my phone, screenshot it, put it on my screen, cause I'm in my phone most of the time, I'm seeing it every day. So I'm looking at my goals every day. And I was just putting up my goals for this year. It's still a thing. They here now. We got, they bigger though.
She got them.
I'm trying to zoom in on what they is.
I was about to ask, what's on them goals list for this year?
So for me, I just start manifesting. I screenshot it and I'll put it on my phone. It's not on there now, but those years I was just putting it on my phone so I can see it every day. And every year, of course I don't complete the whole list, but every year I was checking off something. So for me, I always just trust the process when it comes to goals. Because at first I'm like, if I set goals, I got to get it within that time frame. I'm like, it don't work like that.
It's God's
I never
timing.
had becoming an all-star on my goals. You can ask my best friend who trains me. We never talked about that. It was more so like, yo, we in Indiana, bro. We got to win a game. We got to win. We got to make playoffs. So all-star was never on the list. So when I got that, I thought it was a prank, honestly, for real.
Walk us through that. Walk us through how you found out.
So first off, I was overseas. We won Euro Cup, and I just had a great season in Euro Cup, and I was the MVP of the Euro Cup, and it just flowed into the WNBA season, and my numbers was good. I was just playing good, and my best friend and my brother was just like, yo, your numbers looking good. These all-star numbers. I'm like, oh, shut up, because they into numbers, they see blogs. Like my best friend finds anything that has my name on it, he gonna find it. He gonna be like, yo, E, they trying you. So he gonna try to give me motivation. So they was talking about it all that week, and I'm like, bro, y'all shut up. We gotta win. We only won 7 games. Like we gotta win the game. So when I got the call from Bethany, I'm thinking my best friend or my brother them done told a girl to call me to prank call me. Because if you ask Bethany, I'm like, man, stop playing. Get off my damn phone. Like, cursed at the lady and everything. And she was just like, no, this is Bethany. So when she said Bethany, I know who that is. I know she works in the league. So I'm like, you lying? She was just like, yeah, I'm calling on the behalf of the league that you became an all-star. I was like, I ran out of the locker room. I went in the hallway. I just dropped, started crying.
Wow. So
I called my best friend, who I thought pranked me. He was in Orlando at a tournament because he had an AU team at the time. And I'm like, bro, I'm an all-star. He was like, what? I can't understand. So he emotional. So he ended up walking out the gym. You can hear his voice, like he cracked, like his voice is cracking. He was like, E, for real, like stop playing with me. I'm like, bro,
now you think he pranking you, he think you pranking him.
Yeah, like it was just so much confusion. So then I called my agent, and I'm on the phone with my agent. I'm like, I don't know what I was saying to him. All I know I said was all-star. So he started crying because like that was never on our list. Like we never talked about it. It's always was about let's see if we can get contract extensions, the best contracts overseas. We never talked about all-star because like we wasn't winning in Indiana, but I didn't know my numbers was that good. So I ended up and the crazy thing is my godfather was in town to see back-to-back games, and then my brother was in town. So when I got home and I opened the door and I had my head down because I'm crying the whole way home, a little 5-minute way home. So I walked in the door and I was just like, he was like, what's wrong? I was like,
what happened?
So he hugging me. I have a video of him hugging me. my little brother does not cry. If he cry, he gonna cry by himself. He's not gonna let nobody see him because he does not cry. My little brother was holding me, and I can hear him like, you know, the one that you can feel it from the soul. So he's holding me crying, and it made me cry more because I'm like, you don't even cry. What you crying for? So like, it was just very emotional because it was just like, yo, where did she came from?
I mean, and then you went on to win MVP in that same All-Star game, man. Like that is the first undrafted player to ever win the WNBA All-Star MVP. I mean, what went through your head there? I was there. I watched you cry. I think I was crying with you. I had Ari next to me. I don't know what was happening. I was trying to take photos. I'm crying. You're crying. Everyone's crying. It was a blur. So
I'll be lying to you guys if I said I knew that was gonna happen. Like that whole situation is still, for me, it's still unreal. I don't know where it came from. I don't know what came over me. Honestly, I tell everybody it was my mom. She was a cheat code. The ball was going in because she was honestly just placing it in. My mindset was, man, it's my first All-Star. We're going to Vegas. I'm about to enjoy myself. I'm going to play like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm probably going to just be able to say I was just an All-Star. I know I'm not playing over Sylvia Fowles, freaking Kent Bay's there, Candace Dupree. Like, all these players are there. I know I'm not playing. So I'm like, man, I'm going to just be a cheerleader. I'm going to enjoy myself. And I just want to enjoy the experience.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that was the first one in Vegas. So I'm just like, man, I got the best end of the stick. And the crazy thing is when I talked to LaChina right before the game, and I'm like, man, LaChina, I'm having a ball. We got the top of the line hotels. We got security on every floor. People escort me to everywhere I need to go. I felt like this. I'm like, this is what All-Star treatment feels like. So, but when I told LaChina, I was just like, man, I don't know what today's going to be, but I just want to be unforgettable. I just want to let everybody in the world know that's a basketball player that expected to be an All-Star, that you don't have to go to the route that everybody go is getting drafted and making a team. Like you can go a completely different route and still be here. That's all I wanted the world to know. Make MVP, please.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think that's what's so special about this. Like, listen, we've been seeing the realities of 144 pretty recently, haven't we?
Man.
How many players cut? I mean, some of your old teammates, even from the Sparks. I mean, what do you tell them? You've been there. You've been in this. Like, you know what the harsh realities of being in this league is. And so what do you tell them in that moment? And what do you hope to see from the W in the next few years?
Man, the crazy thing is I knew before the world knew, because Taya ended up calling me, was like, man, don't you know he cut me and AG? And I'm like, all right, because Tay play all the time. That's all she does is play. She's never really serious. I'm like, bro, go on, stop playing. She was like, nah, E, for real, he cut me. They on a road trip and me and AG is here. And I know they're on a road trip because they had to play Indiana, whoever else they had to come
Chicago, yeah, the first game, yep.
They have to play us. I'm like, bro, you are not home. So she sent me her location and it says LA. I was like, yo, you for real? So I just told her, I'm like, man, honestly, just stay ready. Just like the lead is up and down. People may be on team, players may be on a team now. Later on, coaches may not be satisfied with them. A spot may come available. But honestly, like, I think everybody know it. It needs to be more teams. Or even if you didn't do more teams, expand the roster. Do 14. At least you have at least 10 more players that's supposed to be in the league on the roster. Even on, like, I think I ended up seeing somebody say like practice play. I think Stewie said even put them on a practice squad and they still get paid. But you still, you know what I mean? So for sure that needs to happen. Like, I honestly think if Kobe was alive, it would have probably been happening a long time ago. It would have definitely happened.
Talk on it. I mean, listen, it's the harsh realities. This I think Shanae said it best too. Like, there is no reason by any means by why a lottery pick shouldn't be on a roster right now. Like, I mean, how you developing your talent? What are you setting up the W for in the next 25 years? You know, so I hear you.
You basically go to New York and have this crazy experience that your expectation is you're supposed to be on a team and then you get cut. Like, that's crazy. Really stripping the dream away. It's taking the love away from me, because like I work my ass off to get drafted, then I get there, and it's not because I'm not good enough, it's because you already have a me already on your team, so you don't need me. So for me, that's why I tell people I never get comfortable. Like, I've been in the league, I played 7, I technically 8. I'll never get comfortable because at any given moment, my ass can be gone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got to take it like that, right?
Yeah, you got to work every day. That's why I tell rookies now, I'm like, yo, don't get comfortable. I even tell Ryan, and the crazy thing is, Ronnie's the sweetest. The kid just want to have fun. She don't care about no outside noise. Like, she don't care about anything but just like, yo, I want to be around my teammates. I want to have fun. I want to hoop. She don't care about nothing else. And I say, this is the best way to be, because when you start worrying about everything else around you, you lose the love, you lose the focus. And she's so locked in and focused. And Nas is a steal, because I've never seen a rookie like Nas that come in training camp with so much confidence and talk so much. But I tell you, Nas gonna talk to you on defense. She's gonna tell you on offense. Like, the kid knows basketball, and her voice stands out. Nas talk every day, so we do shout outs after every practice. Nas get a shout out after every practice, because how much she talk on defense, on offense, just cheering, just encouraging, and it's nonstop. As a rookie, they don't come in like that. They come in just trying to figure it out. Nas is like, I'll figure shit out. I don't know through what I already got.
Hey,
I'm gonna do the best I can with what I got.
Yeah. So, man, it's tough, but they definitely have to expand it, man, because then it's already hard for us women's on the women's side anyways. And then you're going to make players that are really good don't even have the dream to be in the WNBA, because it's just like, I'm going to work hard to get cut anyways. I don't want to feel that pain. I'm basically, he go to knife stab me.
It's rough.
You know, so
it's not easy. Yeah, I hear that. And I think, you know, listen, we're trending that way. I saw a report that there's going to be 2 potentially new teams. Exciting to see that, you know, hopefully, you know, listen, that happens sooner rather than later.
It said few years.
What's few? We need now.
Like, what is that, 7? What is 2?
I need exact.
Because if you, few is like 4. Couple, 2. So,
okay. You
got me a year, like, tell us something. Because
I see few, I'm like 3. Like 2, 3. Like, I'm optimistic.
It's too much gray area. Yeah, it's too much gray
area. We need some definitions there on these reports. But you know, I'm excited for you. You were just talking about your rooks. I mean, does it, first of all, before we even get into like what you're excited about for this season, does it feel full circle being back in Atlanta? And how would you say you've changed since the last time you played there?
Honest, I'm a completely different person. I mean, I've been through so much to shape who I am today. And like I tell people, I wouldn't change my journey for nothing in this world, because I appreciate everywhere I've been. I appreciate Atlanta. I appreciate Indiana. I appreciate LA. Everything, every chapter that I've closed, it taught me something. I'm bringing it to Atlanta to help me. You know, so for me my opportunity to get in the league is when I was in Atlanta, to like be here in my prime. I think I'm in my prime. Got a couple of years under my belt. You know, so for me to come back, it's almost like it's my mom. My mom is like, it's time to come home and build a legacy. What that legacy is, I don't know. Because when you think about Indiana, you think about Tamika Catchings. When you think about LA, you think about Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike. When you think about Atlanta, you think about Angel McCarthy. That's it. So I think I'm in my prime where I can really make a name for myself here, and this can really be my home. Miami is only a 2-hour flight away. This is the closest I've ever been besides my rookie year. So for me, I think this can be home for me. It's my last year under a contract, so I'll be a free agent next year. So the world is just really mine. It's just be about me writing my own paycheck. This year is really about that. Just writing my own paycheck.
Right. Listen, talk that spirit. Listen, that's what we love to see. And I know we've only watched you get better over the years. So we're so excited for what this Atlanta team's got to offer. And everything that's gonna go down this season. Because listen, I have a feeling this season's gonna be I don't know
we don't know where it's going. Yeah.
I don't know where it's going. It could go anywhere. Anyone could step up and show out. So I'm excited for it.
Just keep sleeping on Atlanta if you want to. I think we woke some folks up that first game though, for sure. So
yeah, you did.
But that's what I told my team. I said that's what I'm used to. Adversity, it always being hard. Always have to prove somebody that we belong. That's my whole entire journey. This ain't nothing. I'm just like, yo, let them keep sleeping, and then you gonna pop up and they go to MVP. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like,
you did it before, right? You could tell them, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I told them, just long as we stay in-house and we all in with each other, everything else will play out. When we lose, we're gonna lose together. When we win, we're gonna win together. We can never separate. That's the main thing. And T is the perfect coach. T is the perfect person for this team. I promise you. When y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see.
Yeah, and you being back in Atlanta, so much great music,
Mhm.
coming out of that area, and so much good music drop. This weekend we're going into the summer, so love the new music for when it's time for us to be outside. Talk
Mhm.
to us a little bit. What you playing, what you listen to right now. What's your go to, your hype song? What you got playing in the headphones?
Oh, right now, my guy is Major Nine out of Miami. One of my guys, he played in the NFL. He also an artist. So he kind of rap about like what we've been through as like during our childhood. So it resonate. So that Major Nine is one of my favorites. Lil Baby is one of my favorites. Future album is super toxic, but I like it though.
We know
I
he's the
like
king of
it.
toxic. That's
I
just
get it.
that's like a
I
known
like,
fact.
I get it. I understand. So that's my guy. But me, I'm more so old school 90s. So I like old school
Yes.
music. Old
I'm about
school
to send
music.
you my playlist. I had a
Send me the
birthday
playlist. I
party for
like
the
old school.
throwbacks. Yes, love the
I'm
Jay's
throwbacks.
always got the fire playlist when
The
it comes to shoot days,
throwbacks.
all that. She's got it. She's got it.
Lauren
She's got it down
Hill,
pat.
Monica, sometimes a little Johnny
Yes.
Gill, sometimes
Okay.
a little what's my girl? I can't think of her name right now. It'll come to me later. But I got more so on the R&B old school side.
Respect.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
respect. I
I
love
love
it.
that.
Love it. Well, I know you've been with Adidas for a moment. You even talked about it a little bit earlier, but we hear you got something special coming out. Tell us all about it.
Man, honestly, man, this moment that I'm about to experience tomorrow, that the world gonna know, it's honestly is breathtaking. When I found out that it was gonna be a thing, I honestly cried on the call because for me, like my dream is to play basketball, and then not knowing what basketball will create for life after basketball and why I'm in it. So Adidas just creating a whole different type of path that I had no idea about. So tomorrow that I announced that my mom has a shoe. I don't even say it's my shoe. I call it my mom's shoe because I think it's solely dedicated to her. Just cervical cancer. It has ribbons under the sole, and in the ribbon it says for mom. And it shows me that my Adidas team pay attention to me because that's something I wrote after All-Star. It was on my shoes, it was on certain things. So I think it's super dope that my team is investing in me in that way and also investing in my life to understand who I am as a person, why I do what I do. And that's why I tell people, man, like you can sign with companies, but if they don't understand you and know you like genuinely, it's a pointless partnership. And Adidas, I feel like Adidas was just on point with the whole shoe. They know what touches me, they know what moves me and drive me. Because the shoe could have been anything or any colorway, but it's significant because it's for my mom, and everything I do is for my mom. So for them to just pinpoint it and just nail it on the nail like that, man, it's super dope. Super dope.
Love it.
So I know you talked a little bit about, being in training camp, playing in the Adidas, not having your insoles in the shoes at first. Are there any like specific specs, with like, I'm not sure how nerdy you get into like the shoe technology and everything, but with the difference in the cushioning systems or, the materials and the silhouette of the shoe and stuff like that. I know a lot of the design is dedicated to your mom, but how I guess exciting was it for you to also be a part of like that creative process and it be personal to you?
I mean, the Adidas from 2014, 15 is completely different right now. Like the basketball shoes from Adidas is like night and day. So the comfort of my shoe, and I think that I love the most is that because I love this the James Harden step back, and it gives you that my feet is narrow, so it cuffs my feet, and my feet don't slide, and then it also give me that Bose feeling because it's soft. When if you ever had some Adidas Bose running shoes, them things are clouds. So the basketball shoes kind of feel like that, and I'm into all that techie stuff when it comes to shoes. The certain angles, what's under the bottom of the sole, like I'm into all that stuff. So I had a chance to talk with footwear and tell them what I like and what I don't like in certain shoes. And I think they just implemented all those things that I like into their shoes, and I can definitely feel it.
That's fire. That's dope. And some of the details in the specific PE for your mom, like talk to me about them. Like, what is it? What does it look like without giving it all away? I mean, this is gonna be out. So when they come out, also tell us what they gonna look like.
I mean, it's basically because my mom passed away from cervical cancer. The ribbon of cervical cancer is teal, so the shoe is all teal. And I think the dope part about it is the bottom of the shoe is clear and it has ribbons all over them. And like I said, the ribbons is white and teal, and then the ribbon says for mom. You can't really see any details on the top that kind of dedicates to my mom is more so under the sole. So you have to see pictures to get the full details. On my feet, they still look fire and you're like, oh, I never seen those. But when you get the full details on the pictures, you'll see exactly what I mean, that the shoe is fire.
No, I mean, under the sole because it's in your soul, right?
Yes,
Like, under the sole because it's in your soul. That's fire. I'm really excited to see them. I know, and not only tomorrow, but on the court, specifically, I want to see you hooping them. I know. I have a feeling it's going to be a 40, 30, whatever.
I say you're going to go off that game. It's going to be a
going off
Don't
game.
Don't put no pressure on me like that. Don't do that.
We're manifesting it. We're manifesting
the universe.
it.
The universe going to do that. The universe going to do that. Well, before we let you go, we got to play a little game with you.
Oh, man.
It's going to be called Who You Rocking With? But it's opening weekend fit edition. We have the tunnels were back out. People were outside. We had some fits popping off. Jay's actually going to send you the photos to your Instagram right now as we tell you to them. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's how we're going to do it. We're going to give you 2 fit options, and you're going to tell us who you're rocking with, and that's going to move on to the next round. So if we tell you player A versus player B, and you pick player A, okay, player A is who's going to face in the next round.
All right.
So you got me?
Wait, let me go to my IG.
Okay.
Where you sent it to?
All right, I'm about to send them now. It's live. We live. Like
we going live. We going one at a time.
You couldn't even we couldn't let you preview them beforehand.
Nope. We had to go one by one.
All right. So first up, we got Sue Bird and Benaja.
Who you rocking with?
Benaja Laney.
Okay.
All right.
Wow. You're going to send me the pictures right away, too, when you say it.
Right away. Yeah, it's live. I don't need you, thinking about it too much.
I'm with Benaja Laney, but what Sue got on, I've never seen a Dickie set like that. And
me neither. I didn't even know that was Dickies.
Listen, Dickies go crazy in Florida. So, she's nice, but come on now. We got to go with the 3-strike game at all times. We can't cheat.
I hear. Okay,
Next up, we got Sid and Henny.
I'm waiting on the pictures to get through. Come on.
Wait, hold on.
I gotta go and see it with the leather pants.
All right.
She went crazy with the leather pants. Henny, my dog, though. That's my dog. She gonna be mad at me about this. Hey, Henny, it's all love, dog.
And now, okay. Now you gotta go between Sid and Benaja.
Now, yeah.
Benaja.
It's like bracket style. You got
Benaja.
Okay.
Benaja.
Okay.
Just staying in there.
All right. So next up, we got Tori and Kelsey
on the same team.
No.
Oh, Tori. Okay.
Yeah.
Kimbro, Tori went crazy. She gave me school vibes. She went crazy. Tori, I'm gonna go with Tori.
All right. Next up, we got Izzy and Epiphany.
No, Piff went crazy. Let me see.
Are those snap away? No, I'm about to say those snap away cargos. Hold on.
No, I gotta go with Piff. But this crazy thing is that's a black-owned designer, and them pants run for like almost $700-800. Ooh, crazy. I mean, I'm detailed like that, so I know what she got on.
You know what she got on. All right, she about to give us the details. She
got on Michael Jordan because she signed with Jordan. That's basic, but this black on what Piff got on, and I know, and handmade. So I'm going with Piff.
Okay, so
I need that plug.
We're making it difficult now. So now we got Tori and Piff.
Piff.
Okay.
All right.
Gosh, y'all tough over there.
Now we got
gotta make it hard.
We got Didi and Asia. This was a little different because Didi's rocking her own gear. Asia did the ode to mom for Mother's Day.
I'm gonna go with Asia.
Okay. All right. So now we got Asia and Piff. Are those the last two?
Mm-hmm. That's who you had left. Yep. Piff. You going Piff? All right, now we gotta go Piff and Benaja. We gotta wrap it up there.
Benaja, 3 strikes.
Oh man.
Hey, you stay true to the fam.
Stay true.
We'll do
Stay
that.
true. Okay, I love that.
I'm with it. Well, Erica, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Hey, listen, hype for you in Atlanta this season. I'm gonna see you at Barclays once you pull up for a little bit. You know, I'll be there.
Just holler at me. You know it's always love when I'm
Shout
on
out the Florida fam. Hey, well, thank you so much. Okay, let's go. Have a good season. Talk soon, man.
I appreciate you guys.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you.